So we are ready to design the perfect workout. And Mary is going to go through a routine here that includes a circuit system, starting off with cardiovascular exercise to get the blood flowing, get all the corpuscles moving. And then we're going to go through a series of exercises, use some basic concepts like a circuit, which will include exercises for the lower body, mid body, upper body, and push and pull. And basically, if you throw this thing all together, you can be able to flow through a workout, very efficient, doesn't waste any time, and we can move forward with creating a workout that flows quickly and gets a full body workout every time you go to the gym. So here we are in the perfect workout, and Mary has completed her cardiovascular warm-up, which for the most part is being done by the legs on the exercise bike. And we're going to shift gears over here now so that she doesn't have to wait and recover anything for the legs. We move our workload up to the upper body, and a cable pull down is a great way to start. Nice light weight. Maybe set number 2, you bump that weight up an extra 10 pounds. We're going to be switching gears here from a cardiovascular exercise that started with the legs to a pull down cable exercise, which warms the upper body up for the workout. And now we're moving into the midsection, okay? So an abdominal exercise. Mary's going to do a partial sit-up here. I've taken this exercise bench and I've put it up to 45 degrees, so it's going to give her a little bit of assistance. Okay, Mary. So I might help and assist a little bit until I see her engaging those abdominal muscles. She's breathing out perfect to let the pressure out of the system when she's doing the sit-ups. And this is a nice way of developing the abilities that you'll need to go on to full sit-ups or more challenging exercises. Okay, so next up, we are going back to the lower body. We've done a little bit of abdominal muscle training on that last exercise now, so we're going to bring it down to the legs. They've gotten a breather while the cable pull-down machine was being done and the abdominal crunch was being done. So Mary's going to demonstrate a wobble board squat. This one here, we're incorporating a lower body exercise. It's really nice for getting in and out of the car, also getting in and out of chairs. And we're also throwing a little whammy here. We got that wobble board, which creates an unstable surface below her feet. So it's going to throw a lot of proprioceptive demand, and it's going to make the exercise even nicer. And a little balance element to it as well. And you see those feet are shaking around. You guys probably have BOSU boards, there's wobble boards, there's all sorts of devices now. There's power plates that are vibrational. That force is interesting because it'll come from the feet and it's going to work its way up the whole kinetic chain when you're doing an exercise on an unstable surface, similarly walking on the beach or walking on soft sand. And that's great for people that are struggling with peripheral neuropathies or other balance-related problems. You've got some systems that are starting to break down. This is one of the ways that you can try to maintain some semblance of balance when you're losing some of the neurological feeling due to other conditions like diabetic neuropathies. Okay, so we have just completed some wobble board squats, and now we're moving it upstream. And instead of doing a pull down exercise for the upper body, we're going to do a lift upward, so the equal and opposite. And Mary's going to demonstrate a curl shoulder press here. Nice one to add to the circuit. Nice and light weights. Again, we're designing a very beginning basic workout here. For those of you that have already been going to the gym for quite some time and are really fit, you might be doing heavier weights than this, but you're still going to always start with a nice light weight for your first set around the circuit. And you're just going to basically repeat the same exercises, just adding a little bit of weight. So from there, we might go from the 3s to the 5s to the 8s in this workout. You're also going to love this. This is going to warm up each part of your body, both push and pull muscles and upper, mid, and lower body exercises circuiting through. Okay, mid-body time. We're going to do a modified plank. Now, classically, a plank pose, of course, is a sort of a straight line between the shoulders and the ankles. But for those of you that are just beginning exercise programs, you don't want to just jump into all these things, so you can modify everything. So what we've done here with Mary is we've modified this motion by having her hands off the ground, much higher up on the bench, and also her butt being lifted out in the air a little bit gives a little bit of a breather. What Mary can do slowly over time is to shift load forward and master each level before the hips drop any further, getting into a plank. Once she's mastered this level, we can begin to maybe put her down on the ground and try again. A little bit of a butt out posture, slowly incorporating a straighter line as she develops the strength. Again, injury-free workout here, that's the point. Don't get discouraged. Go through the circuit, build up on your abilities and build up on your strength through the circuit. And you'll see over time, you'll be able to do everything everybody else is doing. Okay, so this one here, kind of technically a lower body exercise because the legs are gonna do a majority of the work. But we're also going to have Mary incorporate some TRX bands into this with a little bit of a balance. So as she is going to do sort of a little bit of a backward lunge, it's going to incorporate balance, it's going to incorporate midsection, some core strengthening, but for the most part it's going to incorporate one leg doing the work of the stance, which is the leg on the floor, and the other leg is going to be sweeping through a motion where she's going to work the hip flexor and the glute on that leg that is moving, and we'll go back and forth on both legs. So another great idea for these circuits is to incorporate multiple movement patterns. We'll demonstrate that again later on in this workout with a little bit of a squat press. There's even a curl squat shoulder press as well. That's basically a full body workout all built into one exercise. So really nice to do with circuits and nice to do in the gym is to incorporate exercises that work multiple body parts all at the same time. You're going to feel it in your breathing rate and your heart rate quite a bit. You're also going to get more done in a shorter period of time. So back to the midsection we go. And Mary's going to demonstrate here a cross crawl. So we have an exercise that we did a little bit earlier in the circuit, which is a flexion-based exercise for your abdominal muscles, modified incline sit-up. And again, that can be taken into higher and higher levels. This is another beautiful one that counteracts the flexion exercise of a crunch. We're now going to do an extension using and a little bit of a balance, almost like having that wobble board. Mary's going to have to balance while she does this back extension exercise. So go ahead, Mary. Yeah. So you take your arm and your opposite leg, and you can see that her back is going to slight extension when she's doing this. So she's working the glute on that left leg, and she's working the shoulder girdle on the right arm. But then she's got that stance concept going on. The stance is the parts that are locked to the ground, and they have to hold her balanced and upright. And you can switch.
Whoa. Mm-hmm. Here we go. This is the weakness.
Exactly. Now Mary also deals, a lot of you guys out there are going to be, if you haven't seen the video I have on hypermobility, you need to watch it because you need to assess your hypermobility. One thing that Mary comes to the table with here, which is very unique, is she's extremely hypermobile, which means her body always feels like it's kind of falling apart. So the rehabilitation and the exercise program for Mary is really important that she turns muscles on, keeps them on nice and strong because the ligamentous system that's deep down doesn't stabilize very thoroughly, and she's constantly dealing with a body that feels like it's going to fall apart. Many of you guys can relate with that. So now we are back up into the upper body here in our circuit workout, and Mary's going to do a couple, again, a nice little combination exercise here, but primary mover here is going to be your lats and the ability to do a row with the force coming straight into your abdomen right here, or straight into your body at perpendicular angle, as opposed to that pull down exercise where the force load is going straight up above you. This one's coming in at a 90-degree angle, a little different. So go ahead, Mary. So she engages her legs, she engages her abdominal muscles, and then the rest of it's being done by the upper body. So technically, this is your upper body portion of your circuit workout. But like we've done a few times here in this perfect workout, we've incorporated a midsection stabilization and some quad strengthening there, almost like doing those ski exercises or a wall sit. And it's nice, again, to incorporate all these movements into these exercises so that you're working out multiple things at the same time, just like life is. Very few things are being done like a bicep curl. They're always multi-body movements or kinematic or kinetic chains. So another classic exercise here would be a push-up, bench press, or chest fly. All three exercises are working your pec muscles. There's a couple of variations on this theme. Mary's going to do a nice dumbbell exercise. This one's really nice because it allows a lot of freedom. You guys will notice a lot of times if you're on a classic bench press like I have to my left here, the bar is very rigid and it forces you to do it within its confines. You'll also find that like on selectorized machines in the gym where like you've got the handles right there and you put in your weight that you're going to do, but it doesn't allow your arms to move around. A lot of us are dealing with these little injuries, and it's nice to take a free weight exercise because the free weights allow Mary to kind of jibe around any injuries that she might have, old problems that she might have. And as we've mentioned with hypermobility, it also adds a beautiful sort of dynamic of stability. So now she doesn't have to move the weights around, she has to stabilize it, which is really important for somebody with hypermobility. So go ahead, Mary. She's not coming too far away from the body here. I know that this view is from the side. She's keeping a nice angle, just like this. And you finish with those thumbs in, Mary.
Oh,
so
like this?
You got it.
You want me to
exactly.
rotate.
So
Okay.
Neutral to the side, thumb in. Again, not essential that you do that motion. You can keep it where the palms are in, or you can keep it where the thumbs are in. But if you experiment with this, I think you guys will find that it feels really nice to take exercises sometimes in a rotational manner. The shoulder joint really does like some of these rotations just because of the way, by virtue of the way it's built. And I've always found that doing some of these things with these little rotations are really effective. They prevent injuries. They allow me to keep the pec development without wearing out my supraspinatus tendon, which is a really common problem with weight training around the chest area, is the demands on the shoulder joint often wear out the supraspinatus tendon, which is a real issue as we age. So the last exercise on our circuit today is going to be a multi-body exercise. Again, primarily legs, but we're going to throw in a shoulder press into this one here. Again, Mary is going to do a very shallow version of this. Second set might be a little bit deeper. Third set might be a little bit deeper as well. And we can also vary how much weight she's actually pressing over the head. But the primary thing here in our first circuit is going to be light weights and getting these ideas down, getting the form factors down so there's no injuries, and you're going to progress through your workouts, get some success, and build some strength without getting injured. That's the biggie. So there's a nice lunge, a very shallow lunge, not stepping very far, not lowering very far down. A gentle shoulder press that gets thrown in, which will probably add another 30% to the heart rate as she goes up and down the hallway here. Again, another lower body primary exercise, throwing in that upper body exercise here for the heart rate and for the shoulders. Right there, good. And another lower body exercise here, a little funkier. That lunge that we just did was very linear. We're moving forward and back. But now we want to turn on glute medius and minimus and the adductor group on the opposite leg. And Mary's going to demonstrate here a crab crawl walk, okay? So oftentimes called the crab crawl, the way crabs kind of run sideways along the rocks at the beach. And she's now going to be using muscles in that lateral group here. Nice for you golfers as well. Golf being from a very sideways game. But this is also a nice one to stabilize the sacroiliac joints. One of the things that Mary has with that hypermobility is that sacroiliacs on both sides tend to be extremely hypermobile on her. And so we've successfully sort of mitigated some of the back pain and some of the problems that she's had with that hypermobility by keeping that glute medius and minimus activated here. And then the lateral chain, which is down your iliotibial band to the lateral knee, and even down into your perineal group there, the lower leg from the knee down to the ankle. Really nice combination. You can throw in a shoulder press to this like we did with that front lunge as well. And you've got a great lower body exercise here that's funky to the side.